Back in January, I made a video talking about the changes coming to Intelligent Octopus Go. And judging by the response, a lot of people were very interested, but also rightly very concerned. Well, now Octopus has officially published a new blog post confirming more changes are coming. And honestly, I think this tells us something much bigger about the future of energy tariffs in the UK. Because this isn't really just about EV charging anymore. This is about how energy companies want to control when and how we use electricity. And if you own solar panels, batteries, an EV, or you're planning to get any of these things in the future, this absolutely matters. Now, if you're familiar with Intelligent Octopus Go, the basic idea is actually very clever. Instead of a simple fixed overnight cheap rate like Economy 7 or even Octopus Go, Octopus takes control of your EV's charging schedule. You plug the car in, you tell the app when you need the car to be ready, and Octopus intelligently charges the vehicle when electricity is at its cheapest and greenest from the grid. And one of the reasons this tariff becomes so popular is because it's incredibly generous. Officially, you get 6 hours of cheap rate electricity overnight. But in reality, many people often found they were getting much longer cheap rate periods. Extra smart charging slots were allocated, and that meant extra low-cost windows for the whole house. And because the entire house benefited from the cheap rate while those charging windows were active, people naturally started optimizing around it. Charging home batteries, heating hot water, running heat pumps, putting on the dishwasher or the washing machine, people were effectively shifting huge amounts of their energy use into those ultra cheap periods. And honestly, from a customer perspective, why wouldn't you? Energy bills are expensive, and people trying to reduce costs is exactly what these smart tariffs encourage. But I think Octopus have now realized something. Some customers were extracting far more value from the tariff than they originally intended. So I don't think this is really about customers doing the wrong thing. So let's talk about what this new blog post actually says. The big headline is that Octopus is tightening how Intelligent Octopus Go works. And one of the most important parts is around the 6-hour charging window and its structure. Now, to be clear, the 6 cheap overnight hours themselves are not disappearing. But Octopus is very clearly moving towards making Intelligent Go behave more like a true managed EV tariff rather than a flexible cheap electricity loophole for the entire home. And this is the key point. I think they're trying to separate actual EV charging from general household energy consumption. Because over the last couple of years, a lot of people have discovered if the whole house gets cheap rate, then home batteries can be easily charged at a very cheap rate. And this means you can effectively buy electricity overnight at very low prices and use it all day, and even sell some back to the grid if you have a surplus left. Now, some homes have become incredibly efficient at this. And again, this is not people cheating, this is simply people optimizing the system that was available. But energy suppliers don't always like unlimited optimization, especially when large numbers of customers start doing it. Now, this next part is the bit I think most people are missing. The blog also talks about improving the intelligence behind the tariff. And this is where things get interesting because modern EVs and smart chargers provide huge amounts of telemetry data. Octopus increasingly knows when the EV is charging, how much energy the EV consumed, how fast it charged, and potentially how much of your overnight consumption was actually EV charging. Now, why does this matter? Because historically, if your entire house got cheap rate, the supplier didn't really care what was using the energy. But going forward, I think suppliers like Octopus increasingly will care. And this could be the beginning of tariffs becoming far more device specific. Cheap rates for EV charging, different incentives for home batteries, separate export incentives, and potentially even appliance-aware pricing in the future. And honestly, I don't think this is science fiction anymore. We already have EVs being intelligently controlled. We already have smart chargers. We already have batteries responding dynamically to tariffs. The technology to do this already exists. Now, to be fair to Octopus, there is logic behind all of this. Intelligent Octopus Go has been massively successful. There are huge numbers of EVs now using these smart charging systems. And from the grid's perspective, this is actually really useful because EVs are effectively becoming flexible demand management. Instead of millions of cars all charging at 6 p.m. when everybody gets home, Octopus can shift that demand into periods where electricity is cheaper for them, renewable generation is higher, and the grid has spare capacity. And that's genuinely useful as well as saving them a lot of money. But the problem comes when smart tariffs evolve from cheap EV charging into ultra cheap whole home electricity arbitrage, because that changes the economics from Octopus's point of view significantly. And I suspect this move by Octopus is them trying to regain some level of control over this. Now, this is the section I think a lot of people in the audience will care about, because many of you watching this probably have home batteries, or you're considering getting them. And one of the most powerful combinations in the UK right now is solar panels plus batteries plus smart overnight tariffs. That combination can absolutely transform your energy bills. But I think we're moving slowly towards a world where suppliers want more direct control over how cheap electricity is used. And I think there's a real possibility that over the next few years, we'll start seeing EV-only cheap charging, dedicated battery tariffs, dynamic export incentives, and increasingly managed home energy systems. Now, whether that's good or bad probably depends on your perspective. Because on one hand, greater grid intelligence could help reduce waste, reduce curtailment, and help integrate more renewables into the grid. But on the other hand, customers naturally want flexibility. And once people discover ways to reduce their energy bills, they understandably don't want those opportunities reduced. I think what we're seeing here is the first chapter in a bigger story. And honestly, I think this is the really important takeaway from all of this. This isn't just about Octopus. This is about where the entire energy market is heading. The old world of one fixed electricity price all day is slowly disappearing. Instead, we're moving towards dynamic pricing, flexible demand, smart homes with smart batteries, smart EVs, and everything fully automated with an energy management system running it all. In the future, your house may simply decide when to charge the batteries, when to export, when to run appliances, when to heat water, and when to avoid expensive electricity altogether. And actually, in many ways, we're already starting to see that today. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be really uncomfortable with this. Personally, I can see both sides of it. I understand why Octopus is doing it. If large numbers of customers are effectively turning smart EV tariffs into whole home, ultra cheap electricity tariffs, eventually suppliers are going to react. But equally, customers are only doing what the tariff allows them to do. People are trying to reduce their energy bills, take control of their costs, and make the most of expensive investments like batteries and solar. So I don't think it's really about customers doing something wrong. I think this is simply the next stage in the evolution of smart tariffs. And honestly, I suspect we're going to see a lot more changes like this in the next few years. Now, what do you think? I genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So please let me know, do you think Octopus is being reasonable here? Do you think suppliers should care how customers use cheap rate electricity? Has it got anything to do with them whatsoever? Or is it one step too far, an intrusion into our lives? And do you think the future is about moving towards a fully managed smart home? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I really would like a like and subscribe. That really helps the channel grow. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.